How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting as we have reports that not one, not two, but three new characters are going to be entering the MCU very soon in Phase 4. Coming in and making their introduction in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. These three new characters are going to have a major impact on the MCU, one specifically because she is a direct family member of Dormammu. And she actually comes from the Dark Dimension, which could signal the return of Dormammu, which many of us have been speculating about for a very long time since the Infinity Stones were destroyed in Avengers Endgame. The Time Stone was the only thing keeping him away, and now the Time Stone is gone, and now his niece is going to be making her introduction in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And not to mention the fact that these characters are coming in the movie could indicate that the Scarlet Witch could be a villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but we'll break it all down in this video. We'll talk about these characters and why they're such a big deal and why they're very important in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you're new, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything relating to the MCU, and so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4, and I'll talk more about the giveaway at the end of the video. So the first character that we have coming, and the most major out of all the three characters that are coming, is Clea. Now, for the Doctor Strange fans out there, you will instantly know who Clea is, as she is a very big deal when it comes to Doctor Strange. And for those of you who don't know who she is, don't worry, of course I will explain. This report comes from the Illuminerdi.com, and they say that they can confirm, based off of what they've seen and heard, that Clea is going to be in Multiverse of Madness. Now, Clea is a major deal when it comes to Doctor Strange. She would go on to become one of the most important characters to him and his story. And as I mentioned, she is actually the niece of Dormammu. She is the daughter of the Dread Umar, making Dormammu her uncle. She also becomes the ruler of the Dark Dimension, but she is a huge romantic partner of Doctor Strange. So it seems like Doctor Strange is going to have a new love interest in Multiverse of Madness. Clea originally debuted in Strange Tales number 126, and for a while she just kind of watched Doctor Strange from afar. Not creepy at all. But the truth of the matter is she actually watched him because she appreciated his courage when he went up against her uncle Dormammu. And eventually she would turn on her uncle and her mother and father and join Doctor Strange. She actually was Doctor Strange's only ally when he got trapped in the Dark Dimension. She went to save him, but she was actually taken captive herself by betraying her father and Dormammu. Doctor Strange would ultimately help her escape, and the two of them went back to their normal dimension on Earth. There she moved in with Doctor Strange and became his love partner for a very long time. But eventually they did return to the Dark Dimension, where they overthrew Umar, Clea's mother, making her now the ruler of the Dark Dimension. She would end up leaving the Dark Dimension to be with Doctor Strange, but eventually she would have to leave him to go back because her realm was in chaos. And unfortunately, Doctor Strange was unable to leave due to his responsibilities on Earth. So that's a little bit of backstory about Clea, but why is her appearing in Multiverse of Madness such a big deal? Well, for one, we know that Rachel McAdams is returning as Christine, but it seems like she won't be in the picture for much longer, as Clea is most likely going to take over as the major love interest of Doctor Strange. And another reason is that, of course, the movie is called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange is going to be exploring different universes, different realms, and different dimensions. And perhaps Doctor Strange is going to stumble upon and perhaps even get trapped in the dimension that Dormammu and Clea are currently in. Perhaps this is how Clea is going to be introduced in Multiverse of Madness. Now, since the title plainly states Madness, the multiverse is in madness, it would make sense that Doctor Strange would have his hands full and get trapped in one. And it would make sense that he would need some help, and there would enter Clea. And that's a pretty big deal, but that actually isn't why this is such major news. It's such a big deal because it was originally speculated that Clea and Umar were going to be in the first Doctor Strange movie, and apparently they were supposed to be. Kevin Feige wanted them in the movie. But of course, as we know, they weren't. But Kevin Feige has recently revealed that they finally found a way to make a certain character work in the movie. In an interview, he stated, "The next Doctor Strange film, for instance, features some new MCU characters which will be making their debut in that movie. You won't expect or won't guess who it is, but we found a cool way to make it work because we want to make a particular type of movie there. And there was a character who we always wanted to do something with who will fit really well there." Well, according to the Illuminati.com, Kevin Feige is speaking of Clea, which makes perfect sense. They wanted to introduce her in the first film because she is the niece of Dormammu, and Dormammu was the main villain. But there was already so many new introductions in that film: Mordo, the Ancient One, Dormammu, and of course Doctor Strange himself. It was a bit much to add more characters. But now we have a film that's going to be one of the biggest Marvel movies of all time. And Doctor Strange is going to need help from an insanely powerful sorcerer. Clea is no one to mess with. Here's a list of her abilities: superhuman strength and resistance to injury, mastery of magic, energy bolts, teleportation, telekinesis, mind control, illusion generation, flames of regency, greatly allowing her powers to reach their highest peak. Essentially, you could call her a type of female version of Doctor Strange. So she'll be an incredibly powerful ally, and it seems like Doctor Strange may need it, because based off of some things that we've learned, it does seem like the Scarlet Witch may for a limited time be a villain in the movie. In fact, it is looking like it is probably most likely her that is the one who opens up the multiverse. Yes, there were different realities created in Avengers Endgame, but they kind of just go off and do their own thing. They're not really colliding into other universes or affecting the main MCU universe, so it's not really madness. However, it is said that the events that take place in the WandaVision series, Wanda returning and her having her 2 kids and the perfect suburban life, doesn't actually take place in the real world. It takes place in an alternate reality that either the Scarlet Witch or somebody else creates. And when she finds out that none of it is truly real, her husband is not there and her kids aren't real either, she freaks out and has a breakdown and creates multiple different realities. Now, this could definitely cause the multiverse to go into madness. And Kevin Feige has recently stated, and has not been very quiet about, saying the Scarlet Witch is the strongest Avenger. She could have defeated Thanos if he wouldn't have Raid fired.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
Rain fire!
So if she truly is the strongest Avenger, including Doctor Strange in that, he's going to definitely need some help, and therefore he needs the help of Clea. Because none of the other Avengers are that well versed in magic. In fact, Thor isn't even that well versed in magic. He simply has the ability to be a master over the thunder element. So Clea coming is a big deal and actually kind of signals a few things like the return of Dormammu and the possibility that the Scarlet Witch could be a temporary villain. But she's not the only new character that is said to be coming in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. According to a report, again from the Illuminati, Brother Voodoo is going to be making his appearance as well. Brother Voodoo, as you may have guessed, is a gifted voodoo sorcerer. He's a sorcerer from Haiti, and in the Marvel Universe, he actually interacts with many different heroes, and he even takes on the title of Sorcerer Supreme at one point in time. In the comics, he's assisted Spider-Man, Black Panther, and of course, Doctor Strange. And there are 2 reasons why Brother Voodoo entering the MCU could be such a major deal. One is that he may not even exist in the main MCU timeline. He could simply be the Sorcerer Supreme of another reality, one that Doctor Strange could come in contact with. But another reason is that perhaps he could be a future replacement for Doctor Strange. As we know, Marvel is building up a new team of superheroes. That's what Phase 4 and Phase 5 are all about, introducing new characters. And unfortunately, there have been rumors going around that Benedict Cumberbatch may not return to play Doctor Strange after Multiverse of Madness. And not to mention that Marvel Studios and Disney are doing a pretty good job at adding variety when it comes to diversity of ethnicity in the superhero world. So having a Haitian Sorcerer Supreme seems right up their alley right now. Of course, we all hope these rumors aren't true and that Benedict Cumberbatch is actually going to remain Doctor Strange and they could simply introduce Brother Voodoo as another sorcerer. But we'll have to wait and see about that. And then, of course, the last character that is said to be introduced in the Multiverse of Madness, again coming from the Illuminati.com, is American Chavez. Now, American Chavez is actually a fairly new superhero, only appearing for the very first time in 2011. There are 2 main things when it comes to American Chavez appearing in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that make her very important. One is that in the comics, she actually comes from an alternate reality. So if she were to appear in Multiverse of Madness, it would make sense that she would come from an alternate reality in there as well. Whether or not she would remain in the main MCU timeline or not is unknown right now. But there is a good chance because the second reason why she's such a major character is that she's actually a member of the Young Avengers. Now, of course, if you've been following my channel, there have been many signs and indicators that the Young Avengers are coming very soon, and there have been reports by many of the Marvel insiders. So it seems right now that it's only a matter of time until we get a full Young Avengers. And America Chavez is part of the Young Avengers. She's also an openly gay young woman who Marvel is trying to get more representation of in the MCU as well, so it's a perfect fit. And there we have the 3 new characters that are going to be introduced in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Clea, the love interest and at one point in time the wife of Doctor Strange, also a very powerful sorcerer. Brother Voodoo, who at one point in time is the Sorcerer Supreme, and America Chavez, who is part of the Young Avengers and from an alternate reality. 3 major characters coming in one movie. And not to mention the Scarlet Witch is going to be in Multiverse of Madness as well, perhaps as the villain. Not the main villain, but a villain nonetheless for a short period of time. So, what do you think about these 3 new characters, and what would you think if the Scarlet Witch became a villain in the Multiverse of Madness? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe with the notifications turned on so you can stay up to date on everything relating to the MCU, and so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. The winner gets to choose, and I'm picking a winner at 550,000 subscribers. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.